Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm just gonna say thank you for the support on the last video. I made that video for fun, and I did not expect a bunch of people to actually want me to continue the series and actually like the video. So, yeah. But this is technically not part 2, this is part 1.5. It's where I explain how Inko and All Might actually, became a thing and how Izuku became All Might's son. Now, we fast forward back roughly no, a year and a month. So basically around while Deku was still in middle school, around those 10-month training. And All Might was on his way to the Midoriya household with a new training method. This is when he first talked to Gran Torino, and this is about a month before Deku got One for All, so it's around 4 months in. And All Might ended up meeting Inko Midoriya the month before that. And because Izuku was happy in this one and had a girlfriend in the beginning of middle school, Inko took it upon herself to get out of her depressional slump. So she does not look like the Inko in the series. She's not short. She looks more like the Inko. She looks more like the Inko from when Izuku was a kid, because she decided to get back in shape. And All Might seeing this, he likes her. Like, he generally likes her. He likes that she's passionate. He likes that she's kind. She's kind-hearted. She's basically like a female version, an older version of Izuku. Well, that makes sense because like that's his mother and his only, parental figure. And is one of the only people who supported his dream of becoming a hero. And All Might is like seeing this, like he's noticed this, and he can't get her off his mind. And he's telling, and he tells Gran Torino this while he was on the phone with him. And Gran Torino just straight up says, "Toshinori, you dumb idiots. You know that you like the girl, right?" All Might trying to deny it at first, saying, "No, that can't be it. That can't be it." He was denying it. He was like, "No, no, no, no way, no way." And then he finally gives in to what Gran Torino was saying, and then he's like, "Fine, yeah, I do like her." And then Gran Torino just says, "Toshinori, don't mess this up." And before someone says it, I know I was saying Uraraka's name, Uraraka. Damn it! I know I was saying her name wrong. It's just that I don't know how to say it correctly. I've tried to like look for different people who say it, and everyone's saying it differently. So like, I kind of don't know how to say it, and not many other people do. I just go by what other people were just doing with it. And like a little side note, Inko did know that All Might was training Izuku, and she did have a crush on All Might. Like, All Might had that prime bond, bro. He still has his scrawny form, yeah, but it's not as scrawny as it was in anime. Cause for plot reasons, he's not. Like, this is strictly for plot. If it was anything but not for plot, I would make him the scrawny motherfucker he is. But for plot reasons and because I want Inko to like him, he is not going to have that scrawny figure. That will not as scrawny figure. It's still gonna be scrawny, don't get me wrong, but not as bad. But now, Inko, now while All Might's talking to uh, Gran Torino, we cut back to Inko. Inko is waiting for Izuku to get home from his training, and while she's waiting doing that, she's also just thinking about All Might, basically, like when they first met. Because, like, when they first met, Inko immediately felt a spark. You know that spark that's his first love at first sight. Yup, that's the spark she felt. She felt comfortable around him. Like, Inko's usually shy. When she was talking to All Might, she wasn't shy at all. Like, she felt comfortable. She felt like she could talk to him as much as she wanted. And when they exchanged numbers for Izuku's training, she started to have a little crush on All Might. And she's just thinking about this, and then she's like, no, 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 he probably won't even like me. And, because, like, Inko still has that, like, doubtful mindset, like Izuku. And she says that to herself, and she calls Mitsuki, who is her best friend, and she tells her about it. Mitsuki's like, your husband left, and you still haven't found a boyfriend or anything. That's what Mitsuki says. She's like, you need to get back out there, especially now since you're back to your original figure. And then, yeah, I'm sorry I'm pausing a lot. I'm still kind of like astonished that people actually want to watch my videos. So yeah, and Izuku, he comes home. Inko hangs up the phone with Mitsuki saying that Izuku just got home. He needs to talk to him, and she walks to Izuku, gives him a hug, says how was the training. They talk about that for a little bit, and then Izuku asks the prime question. He's like, Mom, what were you talking to Aunt Mitsuki on the phone about? Inko immediately blushes from this and starts turning bright red. And Izuku notices this because he still has his slight bit of confidence at that time, but not as much as when he finished the training. And he is also dating Muraka, so he still has that confidence still, like currently, because this is 4 months before this is like the month before he got One for All. And his mom starts blushing, and she's like, "Oh, no, 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 sweetie, it's nothing, it's nothing." And then Izuku asks, "Mom, why are you red?" And then she says, "No, no, 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 everything's fine." Izuku just drops it then and there, and then he just goes upstairs and goes to sleep. Now we cut back to All Might. All Might's been talking to Gran Torino this entire time, by the way. Like, the entirety of this entire situation has been talking to Gran Torino about Izuku's training and him and Inko. And Izuku, and then, oh, no, sorry, then Gran Torino asked All Might to just call her and talk to her and ask her out. That's all. And if she says no, she says no. If she says yes, then, well, fuck it. And Gran Torino says this bluntly because, like, and because, he's Gran Torino. And Almost just like, all right, all right, all right. And then he decides to call up Inko, and then Inko picks up the phone. She's still blushing from Izuku asking her that question, and then she starts freaking out before picking up the phone. She starts fumbling on the phone, starts fumbling, tumbling over, trips over her coffee table. She falls, she gets back up, she picks up the phone, and second she does, um All Might is just like, hi, Inko. And she's just like, hi, All Might. And they just start talking, and they they lose track of time because they're getting along well, like almost too well. Izuku picks up on this. He's like about to he wakes up a bit to get some water, and then he goes downstairs and he hears his mom talking on the phone, and then he realizes, All Might, wait, what? She says All Might, and then Izuku's like, wait, what? And then he's just like, you know what? I'm not gonna deal with this right now. Maybe later. And then he just goes down, gets some water, goes back upstairs, and then goes straight back to sleep. He's like, I'm not dealing with that. And Inko and All Might, they've been talking for hours. Like, let's say Izuku went to sleep at around 9. He woke up at 12. Um, he to get some water, then go back to sleep. She is talking on the phone from 9 o'clock to 12, and they're still talking. They got to know each other well. Those two ended up knowing and sorry, not knowing. Those two ended up talking for like till 1 a.m. That's how long they were talking. They went from 9 o'clock to 1 a.m. So in total, they were talking for roughly no 6 hours, and this was mainly due to like them prolonging the conversation for like so long. And then they ended off their conversation at 1 o'clock with All Might asking Inko out on a date. And Inko said instantly yes. And All Might surprised by that. She's like, whoa, I did. In his head, he's like, whoa, I did not think this would be this easy or straightforward at all. Inko also thinking, was that too straightforward? And that's what she's thinking right now. But it wasn't. It was the proper tone because I'm pretty sure any guy would love it if a girl if any guy almost any guy would love it if a girl just casually like told him straight up. So we cut to the dates, which is in a week. So this is like this is in a week, and throughout that entire week, him and Inko have just been getting to know each other. Like they've just been talking and talking. Sometimes on my would even like slightly lose focus during training when during training Izuku because he's thinking about Inko and thinking of calling her. And mind you, Izuku's picking up on this. He picks up on this almost like the first day, and he's realized this over the past week. And then he's just like, "All right, so it's either my mom and All Might are planning a surprise for me, or they're dating. Either one, I'm completely fine with. But then again, that's my mom. So, oof." And Izuku's thinking this, and after the training, he goes up to All Might, and then like this is like the day of the date, and then he just asks his All Might straight up, is like, "Are you and my mom dating?" And All Might, he was drinking some water at the time. He spits it out. He's like, "Oh wait, what?" All Might just spits it out. Wait, what? Young Midoriya, two grown-ups can't fall. Um, uh, and then All Might's trying to like make up an excuse on the spot, and then Izuku just says, "You know it's fine, right?" And All Might just breathes. I was just like, instantly poofs down to a somewhat scrawny form, and he's just like, "Yeah, I am." And that's what he. And then yeah, Izuku is just like, "I knew it, I knew it, I knew it." And he's actually supportive of this because like if it's anybody, he'd rather it be All Might. Like for real, if it's anybody, he'd rather it be All Might. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help y'all get ready for y'all date. And All Might surprised by that. He's like, wait, what? You know I'm dating your mom. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'd rather it be you than anybody else. All Might surprised by this. She's like, oh, all right. Now, Izuku rushes home, and he already knows his mom. Like All Might already calls Inko saying that Izuku knows we're dating now, and she's just like, did you take it well? He's just like, better than I thought. He said he'd rather it be me than anybody else. Inko's surprised by this. She's just like, wait, what? Usually he would get defensive whenever I'm around other guys. And then All Might then thinks back to how he's technically Izuku's father figure now because he's the first guy that he's ever accepted into his mother's life. That and the fact that he's the only other person who's believed in his dream of becoming a hero and is training him to become one. And then he realizes this, but he doesn't have the balls to say it because not yet anyway. And Izuku gets home. He's just like, Mom, we're getting you ready for this date. And you know those scenes in movies where they go through clothes and they like put them over to people and they just have them pick up the clothes and they go from no, no, yes, no until finding the right one? Well, that's what Izuku did. He basically did that the entire time. And what he ended up picking up for Inko was a bright green dress that matched the color of her hair and eyes with black shoes and black gloves, with black long gloves. To be honest, you would think this would be the villain Inko, the villain Inko AU maker. But then again, still, this is Inko. So like Inko thinks, do you think this is a bit much? And then Izuku's just like, nah, you'll be fine. As All Might pulls up, as he tells All Might to like pull up in a suit and his car, you know All Might's the number one hero. He gotta have a nice car. All Might has a Mercedes Benz, bro. He has a Mercedes Benz. And he's in a suit and tie. He's ready for this. And so pulls up in a Mercedes Benz. Although All Might doesn't really need a car, he has one because he's gonna be losing. He's losing one for all. He's not gonna be using his buff form the entire time. And he was talking to Inko in his small might form anyway. So yeah, might as well. And he just starts pushing his mom outside, and then he All Might comes up to the door. He knocks on it, and then he's like, and then Izuku just opens the door. He's like, "All right, Inko, your date's here." He says that in a funny tone. He's like, "Mom, your date's here," and he's just waiting by the door, and he's acting like the dad in the story. He's acting like basically the dad, and he's just like, "You better bring her back." He's like, "You better bring her back before 1 o'clock," because right now it's like they finished training early this time, so like right now it's like 6. So like he's like, "You better bring her back before 1." Saying this in a dark demonic tone, and All Might got shivers down his spine from this. Like the number one hero just got shivers down his spine by someone who's quirkless. Never thought I'd see today. And also a reminder, this part is roughly going to be 20 to 30 minutes long. I'm not making this as long as my actual parts because this is technically not part 2. This is 1.5. And your boy All Might, he is slightly terrified. Like he's terrified. Like Izuku says this in such a demonic tone. Like he is terrified. Like in the previous part in the sports festival where Deku said that in 1,000 voices, imagine that, but minus the 1,000 voices and think of just a very deep Izuku voice. That's what they heard. And he also said, and when Inko's about to go get her purse before she goes, he just says this to All Might: "If you break her heart, I will break you." And he also says this in a demonic tone. sending even more shivers down All Might's spine. All Might's visibly shaking at this point. He's just slightly terrified because he's already abused his limit for the day. He is not in the shape to be fighting right now. And he can, and Izuku, he's gaining a lot more muscle than he did in the anime because he finished it in 5 months instead of the original 10. So, and they are off on their date because I really, and I mean I truly want to like detail the date, but I'm gonna just summarize it. Inko and All Might, well, Toshinori, they both went to a 5-star restaurant in the city. Inko saying, I do not have enough money to be here. And All Might saying, nah, it's fine. And your boy All Might, like, he's a gentleman. Like, he may be an idiot sometimes. That's his persona whenever he's the number one hero. But whenever he's not, he's a true gentleman. And he is basically, he and Inko are like talking this whole time. Like, they have a lot in common. Surprisingly, they have a lot in common. And they start talking, and they are like talking the entire time. Like, and even in the restaurant, those two were talking to each other the entire time, laughing with each other. They are basically having a fun time. And they almost forget. And they almost forget that their food, that they had to order food. Like, that's how much fun they were having with each other's company alone. And he straight up, and I mean straight up, just they eat and then they go straight up to they go to a movie. This is an adult film movie because still. And they, once the movie's finished, I'm sorry for the pausing. I'm just very, very, very like jittery today, and I'm sorry. And Izuku, he's out here just chilling, bro. Like, he's just chilling. Like, literally, he has the house to himself for like one time in a while. So like, those scenes in the movies where you're just in a shirt and then you're in socks and you're sliding around playing. I forgot that one song, but he's basically doing that right now. Like he's basically doing that in Japan. Yeah. And when Inko and All Might are done with the movie, it's like 11 o'clock right now. Like, they have, All Might remembers what Izuku said. He's just like, all right, I have exactly 2 hours left. 2 hours and 59 minutes left. I need to make the most of this. They straight up say, after all that, they're just straight up talking, and they're just like walking through a park at this point. At this point in time, they are just walking in the park. And literally, they're just walking in the park. Just talking for the last 2 hours. And in the park, they kiss, they do the smooch smooch. And this ended up turning into a full-on makeout session. They didn't do Super Smash Bros. Yet. But they did full-on makeout. So yes, those two are dating now. Now, we cut to when he drops Inko off. And Deku sees his mom blushing. Then he sees All Might blushing. He puts two and two together, and he just says, "Y'all kissed, didn't you?" And And Inko immediately turning even redder. She's like, yes, and then Izuku's like, that bastard, and he was about to run after All Might. All Might was like, no, 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 time to go, time to go, time to go. Suddenly kicked it in a high gear and was off. He's gone. And then Izuku says in the distance, you know you have to train me tomorrow, right? And then All Might realizing this, he's just like, oh shit, I am so fucked. Like he's shaking right now. Like he calls Gran Torino on the way there. He's like, yo, I'm so screwed. Relays everything that happened to Gran Torino. Gran Torino's like, hey, my boy Toshinori, but like, yeah, you're fucked. And like, imagine that, like, seriously. Now we time skip 1 month. Well, 3 weeks, and Inko and All Might have been getting closer and closer, and have been talking to each other, and have been going on dates and stuff this entire few weeks. They are known as boyfriend and girlfriend now. And since Izuku sees All Might as a dad, he didn't hurt him too much at when they first sparred with One for All. He just kind of like broke his limbs, but like still. And right when this is like all over, during the last 5 months of training, him and Ingo were getting closer and closer and closer, and by the end, like around where they're going to UA, they move in together. Yup, they move in together. This is like at the end of like this is like right before Izuku goes into UA, they move in together. And now we time skip another 3 months. Cause like, yeah, that's technically his son now. And this is when around the time Kendo and Izuku start dating. All Might pops the question to Inko. And he straight up asks him to marry her. And yup, she said of course, yes. And yeah, that's it. But they haven't gotten married yet, and that's gonna be like, yeah, that's gonna actually come back into the story in like part 2 or 3, maybe. But this is gonna be the end of this, well, quote unquote, part of the video. But you know, technically, depending on this recording's being made at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Depending on how long it takes for this to render is gonna be dependent on if part 2 comes out today. So those who are happy expecting part 2, if it does not come out today, I will have it out by tomorrow, and or like 12 o'clock today. Not 12 p.m. but 12 a.m. So yeah, and yeah, that's it.